Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on March 27th, 2022 at approximately 9:32 p.m. PST. We're looking at getting your world back in order. Now, first and foremost, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of information, a lot of transformation that's going about right here, right now. Okay, and remember to hit that alert button because it'll let you know when the next video comes out. At this point, now I was brought back into this world. I came back to this life to pass on one primary message, and that is that working together, we can make this a better world for most people. To do this, however, it starts with you. Now, the tools I offer, the reason I call myself a spiritual guide is because the tools I offer are the same tools that I personally use. The philosophies of life I talk about are the ones I personally live by. And if you ever actually meet me, I certainly won't call it have the pleasure of meeting me. I don't see myself that way. But if you ever end up actually meeting me in person, you will find them the same way. Okay, the way I talk, the way I double back on myself when I say certain words, that's me. So this is a live recording, and whatever comes out, that's what comes out. At the end of it, I'll go back and double check the date to make certain I got the date right, and then post it as is. Now, most of the information that I provide here, most of the suggestions, I put in writing in some form. The one I'm going to talk about right now is the backbone to changing the energy in your home. Okay, not your house, but your home. Okay, and I've already put it in this neat little book. Now, of course, if you've got questions, let me know. Like, drop me a line, drop me a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. If you want to ask me a question in any field and you don't desire the rest of the world to know it, absolutely, drop me a line at one of the contact points below, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, now I'm not perfect by any stretch. This said, I'll get back in touch with you, but quite often I will take the information of somebody else from somebody else's question, and I will put it into a video. Okay, but the one thing I'm going to point out to you right now is this is the backbone of how to turn your life around. Okay, this is the one that has the simplest tools available. This is a book called Believe in Your Dream, in Yourself, and Follow Your Dreams. Okay, by doing that, okay, and again, any of the books that I've written are available through me directly. If you look at the list, you can see a list of the books that I've already got in print. The novels I'm writing are currently available on at authorhouse.com, on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble. Okay, look it up. But you can find the whole list of books that are actually in print in the list below this video. I talked about a couple of days ago. I talked about this issue of the biggest challenge available. The biggest challenge you'll ever face in your life, quite frankly, is when you wake up in the morning and you just start to wake up. You're going, I don't want to get up. That's your first major change right there. Okay, stay in bed long enough for your eyes to focus. Because I'll tell you, I've made the mistake of climbing out of bed before my eyes were focused. Doesn't work well. Wait long enough for your eyes to focus and get yourself out of bed. That is the first challenge and the first success of the day. Okay, now understand, in this little book, okay, I've laid this all out in very short order, very point form. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Okay, I don't like doing a lot of research. But I do know I found over the last 48 years I have repeated myself on a number of things with multiple people, as in not necessarily to you personally, but with over 80,000 clients under my belt, the tools in this book are the tools that have worked for thousands upon thousands of people. Okay, and they are tools that I still personally use. The thing with throwing yourself out of bed is you're going, by doing that, in spite of wanting to sleep a little longer, by throwing yourself out of bed, you are overcoming the biggest obstacle you will ever run into, and that's your own stubborn disposition. Okay, it's your own will that you're going to tap into or you're going to deny. But by getting out of bed, you can get much more accomplished than if you stay in bed. Now, I do agree with you. There are times when staying in bed, especially if you have a partner, is more enjoyable than getting out of bed. But if you're planning on getting anything done with your life, eventually you've got to get out of bed. Okay, so the first thing in the morning, wait till your eyes clear, get up and get your tail feathers out of bed. That is the biggest obstacle you'll ever come across. It's the biggest one you'll ever have to face. Now, you may not believe it, and that's okay, because I'm not here to convince you that that's the way it is. I'm telling you, if you haven't done this, if you haven't experienced this drive, okay, don't take my word for it, but if you haven't done it, give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, success is yours for the taking, yours for the co-creating, but you're the one that's going to have to do it. And much as I came back to this world to help guide people and to point out that this world can be a better place when we all pitch in. Okay, when you do, this is why I'm asking for your assistance, is to help with this issue. But that requires getting out of bed. Okay, once you've done that, you can get on with other aspects of your life. Okay, and it's a royal pain, I agree with you. There are days when I wake up in the morning going, I just don't want to get out of bed. Of course, in my case, that's usually because I went to bed at 11 o'clock and woke up at 2 and went, I don't like this idea. I can function if I have to, but I've got to stay active if I'm doing that. Usually what happens is I get up too early, do a couple hours of work, and then go back to sleep. Okay, and in this case, today was a little screwy. It just got really carried away. Sundays are usually hectic for me anyway. But by turning around and asking yourself what you're doing, what you can do, what you're willing to do, the first step is dragging your tail out of bed. Okay, then you can get things done. And by doing that, if we all get out of bed when we're like, you won't get up at the same time I do. Please do not get up at the same time I do. More often than not, I'm up by 3 or 4 in the morning. This is not necessarily convenient. Think of it this way. The human race, by and large, is diurnal. We wait and we work, we're active during the day. Now, most of that is because way back at the beginning, when mankind was first surfacing, we learned that daylight was safer. It has carried on to this day. Okay, now I don't know about you, but I don't go outside much at night. Mind you, I don't go outside much during the day. But by getting out of bed first thing in the morning, then you turn and let's see if I did this right. Probably not. No. Wouldn't you know it? The list that I had is right, that's part of it. Yeah, wouldn't you know it? Try that again. Like I said, I keep a list of things to be done. The reason this list is so long, in all fairness, is because I got a bunch of paperwork I gotta get done that I haven't yet. But if you take a sheet of paper and just put 3 things on that list, keep them to 15-minute to half-hour tasks. Okay, when one gets done, check it off and add a third one to the bottom. These are tasks that you feel are required in your life. By doing this, you can start things moving and eliminate the things or alter the things that are not working for you. Okay. But by doing that, when you eliminate all the things that you're not content with, when you've changed the energy, then all you're left with is a world that you're content with, that you're happy with here. And I will tell you this, when I reach that point, and I'm still waiting for something to come through, and while I'm talking here, I'm going to see if I can call this up anyway. And yes, that means I'm looking at a computer while I'm doing this. And this is the thing. From my standpoint, I take a look at it going, this is the way my life goes. Now, I could just shut that down and ignore the whole thing. But the reality of it, from my standpoint, is that by doing this, I can actually take a look at things. And I'm going to have to pause this for a second. Well, that took a lot longer than I was planning on, so hopefully this picked up and that this started up again correctly. As I was saying, I'm going to try to get back to the track I was on. When you get started in the morning, okay, you get yourself out of bed. Make sure you've got that list that I've been talking about. 3 things on the list. Okay, and the reason for that is by keeping those things, those tests, and you just look at the things you're not content with. Keep the tasks to 15 minutes to half an hour. That way you can check them off and get them done and out of the way as soon as possible. Okay, so that you can see progress. Now, we've got things moving, and like I said, once you get up, that's why I was going. Told you I'd try and get back to it. This little booklet, okay, it is listed on the bottom of my right below this video. This little booklet, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams, are the simple tools that I personally use and have, I think to date, I've sold around about 500 copies of it without doing any real marketing. Marketing has never been my strong suit, but it covers the basic tools that I use in order to change my life for what I consider the better. And I know for an absolute certainty they will work for you. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have written good self-help books. Okay, a lot of really good ones. And granted, some of the information I've gained, I undoubtedly gathered from some of them. Only if I can't honestly, off the top of my head, remember which ones I've read, because honestly, I don't read that much. These are tools I've learned the hard way to work with. So you get up, once you're out of bed, take care of what you have to as far as getting ready to go. Get up, obviously go to the washroom, get yourself dressed, and immediately turn around and make your bed. Now, why would I tell you make your bed, aside from go back to the basics? By making your bed, it's the one task that it seems across the board people don't like doing. But if you could bring yourself to get that task out of the way right off the bat, you're already starting off. You've already beaten the hardest obstacle, your own stubborn disposition, your own tendency to cling to old habits. You've already overcome that. Now you've made your bed. And, I'm not talking about putting it so you can bounce a quarter off it. Okay, I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm talking about making it to your specifications, but make the thing. And the reason for it, as in put the pillows where they belong, bring the blanket up over the bed, this sort of thing. Because the reality is the feeling of walking into a room that is neat and tidy is so much better and so much more relaxing than the feeling of walking into a room that's full of clutter. If you don't believe me, straighten the room out and see how it feels. Okay, and yes, I've got an itchy ear. Probably partially to do with this, so I may just do something about that. But in any event, that's sidetrack you don't need to worry about. Okay, you get your bed made, then get up front, and like I said, we go back into the heart of the home. The combination living room, kitchen, and dining room. Get that brought up to speed. Get your house running so it looks so it's tidy for you for the day. Ideally, it was tidied the night before. Okay, but if not, put anything away that you haven't gotten around to doing. One of the tasks I've got to do when I get done this video, mentioning tidying things up, my son did not, and unfortunately, this is normally 16 years old. He didn't put everything away that should have been there. Now, yes, I could leave it till tomorrow. Okay, but the reality is a chunk of what was left out was mine anyway before I came in here and got sidetracked. Came in to do this recording. Ended up getting a call, a business call that I had to put this on pause for. And before I got finished with the business call, I ended up with another call that had to be dealt with. So I didn't get very far. Okay, but you get things tidied up again, and then you get on with your day. And this is where that list of 3 things comes in, because if you've been doing it, by the time you go to bed, you've still got 3 things set up for tomorrow. And when I go to bed tonight, I will have 3 things on my list for tomorrow morning. So that as soon as I get up, I've got things I've got to get done. The trick to getting your life turned around is very simple. You have to make the decision for you. You've got to have that emotional imperative. I finally got mine. I finally got that one thing I was missing. And by the way, you may have been told, that you've got to have your life in order by the time you're 20 in order to be successful. Well, I'm telling you, my life was not in order when I was 20. I've only just in the last 6 months got the peace of mind that I required, and just in the last week or two got that emotional imperative that says, now I'm able to look at the future. Now I can plan for what I desire. And one of the things I desire to do, and I'll keep you posted on how this goes, I'm finally able to look at picking up the luxuries. So I've decided that I'm going to be taking my living room and gutting it. Okay, but it'll be done one step at a time. I will be getting a large TV. Right now, I think my TV is something like 44 inches. I don't know what the diagonal is on it, but I think it's 34 side to side. Okay, but I'm going to be pulling out the entire entertainment center as I've got the money to do it. Okay, and bringing in a proper stand and a full-size TV as large, and quite frankly, I'm getting one as large as I can get it. Not because I have to have it, but because it's a luxury I desire to have. The way I figured, I've worked hard, I've sacrificed a lot, I've done stupid things. Okay, but now I'm actually able, I was looking at it today. I've actually, in the next 2 or 3 days, I actually will have the money that I can comfortably look in the mirror and go, this is what I desire to build. Now, the reality is, when you get to that point, it is such a bizarre feeling. If you're used to struggling day in and day out, that's where these tools I'm coming to you with come in. These are tools that are tried and tested, not just by me in all fairness, but they've all been tested by me. The one exception is I've told a lot of people how to quit smoking. I never started. Okay, but any of the tools I'm talking about where it comes to the finances, where it comes to writing, where it comes to picking a goal and making it happen, okay, I'm living proof that it can be done. And these are why I am now in a position where I can quite happily look in the mirror and go, okay, your wardrobe's not what you desire yet. I mean, you take a look at this. Okay, my clothing, 90% of it is probably 10 years old. Okay, but now I can legitimately start looking at it and upgrading my wardrobe, upgrading my home to my specs. I made a comment a long time ago, and you probably made one very similar. Okay, I desire to have the best of the best. And in simplest terms, in my eyes, that's what I found in my current girlfriend. Okay, is somebody that would take me as is, just the way I am, with all my idiosyncrasies, all my quirks. Okay, I'm not looking, I wasn't looking for somebody to pat me on the back and say, oh, you're doing a fabulous job. Because frankly, as I told one potential employer, If I'm not happy with what I do, all the accolades from anybody doesn't matter. None of them will. But when I first moved out of my house, out of my birth home, well, out of my family home with mom and dad, okay, I turned around and bought a set of gold-plated silverware. And my mom asked me right then, I was only 18, and she goes, "Why are you buying gold-plated silverware?" I looked at her, I went, "Because I can." Okay, at this point in my life, I have finally gotten back to the point I cannot go out and buy a house on a whim. Heck, I don't think I could even buy a house, much less why would I at my age? Okay, but I'm finally at a point where I can start looking at my living room and going, I desire these upgrades. And now I can legitimately look to getting them. Okay, I've got things moving. You can get to the same point. I know you can do it. But it's going to take your own stubborn disposition, and it's going to take the assistance of people around you. But working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Okay, this is the time. I mean, we've just come out of an absolute disaster over the last couple of years, and we're not out of it yet. Okay, but this whole issue of COVID really got us thinking, got a lot of people thinking about what was really of value. It did force people to stay home to get to know each other a little better. It really got me to look in the mirror and go, what am I doing? And ironically, so many people will look at this whole disaster with COVID and go, it was an absolute disaster. To me, it was a godsend. Okay, not the people that suffered. I feel for the people that suffered. Two of my own family came down with COVID. Okay, and a number of people I know of. I, being reclusive, of course, wasn't around anybody. It's no real wonder I didn't get anything. But that said, I've also got an immune system that's insane. But where COVID came in really handy for me was when they came up with the vaccine passports. That is what stopped me from spending money in restaurants that I knew I shouldn't have been spending. Okay, but there was no way I was getting the vaccine. So when they said you either get the vaccine or you can't spend money at the restaurant, that decision to not get the vaccine and them putting the passport in place meant I saved, I'm guessing, roughly about $2,000 in the last 5 months. $2,000 that I didn't have, but $2,000 that has now left me in the next day or two because the payment's already been placed, it has been posted, okay, to them. Next day or two, it'll register. I will not owe a thing except interest from my last month, okay, and I've already got the money to deal with that. But I will be debt free. Okay, there's one bill I will never pay. Okay, and I make no bones about it. It was a bill that I never should have had because I told them not to bill it. And that said, this does not make it the right decision. It makes it my decision. Okay, but the bills that I did feel needed to be paid and that I did feel were legitimate are all paid as of now. I've got one little bit of interest to clear up when the bill comes in, and I'll deal with that the moment it gets here. But here's the neat part about it. Now I can look in the mirror and go, I got there. I got my peace of mind. I got that about within the last 6 months. I know where I'm standing. I know what I'm up against. This is a feeling I would love you to share. I would love you to have the same feeling. And this is why I say, I'm not talking about who you follow, what church you go to. I'm asking you to join me on this journey, to work together so we can make this world a better place. Okay, so we can eliminate the stresses, we can eliminate the financial problems you're going through, we can eliminate your worry about, do I have food in my house? Okay, on top of having my bills paid, I've got enough food in my house for me and my son, okay, to last us at least a month without any more income, without any more food coming into the house. Okay, it may not be, it may not be Lobster Rockefeller or what is it called? Duck L'Orange, or it may not be any of these really high price thingies. but it will be food and we will be healthy. But I can relax. I'm still working full-time. I got no interest in retiring at this point. Got an interest in increasing my income. But then the advertising that I just paid for has the clear potential of coming back almost 10 times the value of what I spent. Okay, it's an educated gamble, but if you desire to get something done, you're going to have to make the work. You're going to have to do the work. Now, absolutely, if you've got questions in any field, be it personal, business, UFO, alien, metaphysical, or spiritual, okay, I would love to hear your comments in the comments below. Absolutely, if you've got a question or you require guidance in some fashion, okay, there's a list of contacts below this video that will tell you how to get a hold of me, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, I'm not talking about walking away from whoever you're worshiping, whoever you're spending your time with. If you go to church, a temple, a coven, if you sit by yourself or you talk to friends, to me, carry on. But follow those 3 karmic laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. By doing that, okay, and working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. To be frank, war has never brought peace. It has brought quiet, but it does not bring peace. Okay, but if we concentrate our spare time together, okay, we concentrate the time that we have on working together, on simply smiling at the people you know, okay, we can turn this around. Now, again, go back, because I am trying to stay on track. It's just not working well. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. You be the judge of that. Okay. But take a look at the backbone of your home. The kitchen, the dining room, and the living room. Get them organized. Get the energy in those areas running smoothly. And what I mean by that is clear the clutter out. You will find, take my word for it for the moment, or don't. But if your home is cluttered, get it organized. This does not necessarily mean throw things out, but it means get them organized. Get your family stuff in one place, your financial stuff in one place. This is what we call feng shui. And it does help get the energy running smoothly. And especially if you get rid of the clutter in your bedroom, you will find that things work out so much better for you. You'll sleep so much better. And then you can turn the energy in your life around. Now, with that in mind, I will be back again tomorrow. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll try that again. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.